Good evening, everyone. Hello, this is Linda from Shenanigans tonight. Sorry, yes, I forgot where I was here for a moment. So welcome everyone to Hillbilly Scrapping, and there's the website there for you can go to. Hello, girls. Hello. Well, excuse me. Of course, I had a choking fit just before I come on. Hello, Susan and Shell. Welcome, girls. Okay, so it looks like just the two of you at the moment. I'll just wait a little bit longer. Hope you girls are well. Not sure if we're going to get too many tonight because there's a lot happening. Excuse me. And yeah, the footy's on, all that kind of thing. So I'm not expecting too many people tonight, but that's okay. The important ones are here, and that's good. Obviously, you can watch the replay later. Oh God, later if you need to. So welcome everyone. Like I was saying in my post, Jen has very kindly asked me to do some sessions with you ladies during the time that she's away, and I'm not sure if she will actually, hello Faye, not sure if she'll actually come in. She's somewhere near Mauritius, so I don't know whether that means she has internet or what the time difference is or anything like that, but I'm sure she will pop in if she can. So welcome everyone. So tonight I thought I would do some lindys. I love lindys magicals. Jen stocks them now, and so I thought I'll show you some examples of things that I do with lindys. I just absolutely love them because they're a different way of using. You can use them as watercolors, you can use them in your texture paste, you can use them in your matte mediums, you can use them in just about anything, and it's just having a go and just seeing what you can do. If you think, oh, I wonder if I can do this, well, have a go and see if you can, and you'll probably be surprised with the results that you get. And so anyway, I've just put a little tag there, but I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques tonight. For some of you, they might not be new techniques, but it's always nice to refresh your memory about what you can and can't do with different things. I do, like I say, I do love my lindys. I love the one thing I like about them too, I suppose, as opposed to watercolors, is that they do have a fairly good permanency about them. Most things, once they're dry, they're usually pretty dry. You can't reactivate it on here with water too much. So you're pretty safe once you've got it dry, that it will remain there. Unlike your watercolors, where obviously if you drop some water on it, it is going to reactivate and shift. There are a couple of things that might shift. Matte medium, for instance, if you go over this with matte medium to glue something down, that might shift the paste a bit, but it will dry, but it doesn't do it too much. So I'm pretty confident with this product that it'll do what you want it to do. I've got a few different ones here now. Jen has got in stock. These are the Go Girl magicals. There's two sets, so on the top of mine I always put little samples on the top. That's something that I do. but that doesn't belong in there. So F is for flat and S is for shimmer, and so they obviously do not belong in there. So I usually just do that so I know which one's which. So these are exactly the same sort of colours. Let me grab this one. Where's the green? I've got the green over here somewhere. Let's grab the yellow then. So the yellow is Boss Baby Blonde Flat. So that's the flat one, and a Boss Baby Blonde Shimmer. So the shimmer ones tend to look a little bit lighter because, hi Leslie, they have a shimmer, like a very, very, very fine glitter in them. So they tend to come out a little bit lighter in colour because the shimmer, as it dries, rises to the top. So it does put a little bit of a shimmer, obviously, over it. But if you want strength of colour, use your flats, okay? And sometimes I'll mix flats in with the shimmers just to give them a bit of a boost. And yeah, so if they're available in the flat and the shimmer, I always buy them both because so many uses with them. So that's the Go Girl range, and that's a fairly new one. It was on, I think, November last year. Also, what I've got here is the Gypsy Vibes and the Boho Vibes. So, Boho Dreams, sorry. Jen has these on the website, so just go through to the Hillbilly Scrappin' website and you should be able to pick up those. Some of you who ordered the kit, the Gullies kit that Jen had, you would have got one set of those in that pack. So that in itself was a very good reason to buy the kit. And I think she still has the other set as well. And I'm also going to be playing a little bit with, I put them in little containers. This is an older one. This is probably a couple of years old now. This is the Tea and Crumpet range. I should have had a look before I come on. I can't remember if she has this. If you're wanting these sorts of things, I'm sure if you just dropped a line to Jen, she'll consider whether it's worthwhile getting them in. But the Tea and Crumpets was another range of 10. I think they usually package them up in set 1 and set 2 now, because it's just easier to get the set of 5 if that's all you want. But 10 beautiful, beautiful colours, really strong colours. I'm using these tonight so you'll be able to see the strength of colour that's in them. So that's something we'll be playing with as well. And I'll be showing you some techniques. Also too, what I like to use, now you don't have to use Lindy's embossing powder with Lindy's. You can use any embossing powder with the Lindy's. That's not an issue. The reason I like to use this one, which is called Wowzers White, it's a very, very, very fine powder, and it does beautiful stamping. When you're stamping, it does beautiful crisp images. So that's why I tend to use the white, is the Wowzers White, and there's also Boogie Down Black. Now, Jen might be able to order those in sometime in the future, but in the meantime, you can use any embossing powder that you've got. All right, so you can do, you know, I tend to do tags when I'm doing quick lives just so that it's just easier to do. So I've got quite a few here that I've done on a live last month. I will put a link up to this YouTube video so you can get to see these tags being created. You know, much the same sort of thing. You know, I try to do different techniques and that kind of thing along the way. Oh, thank you. Esmeralda says, looked up Tea and Crumpets and Jenny does have it for sale. Well done, because to me that is a really, really good one. You can see the strength of colours. Now, what I always do too, I always do up quick swatches. Now this is the tea and crumpet swatches, and I don't know, the only problem with doing this sort of thing on live is you don't get to see the shimmer as much as what it really is. So sometimes you can get a little bit of a shimmer on it, but yeah, so the strength of colors in these is just absolutely stunning. And I don't know if you can see on these two down here, they've got a little bit of like a grey. That's the silver on the top. So the silver rises to the top and just kind of adds a little extra dimension to the colours. But you can sort of see that the colours just come through so beautifully. So that's the tea and crumpet, and yeah, so that is one that I will be playing with tonight as well. Alright, so we might as well get started here. So one thing when I'm doing lives when I'm doing lindys, one of the downfalls with lives and lindys is that you're dealing with water, and the water itself does take a little while to dry. Okay, so sometimes when I'm doing a live like this, I will prepare some bits earlier, and then I'll demonstrate to you how I did this, but it won't dry in time. So I always have one I made earlier, and also then I'll show you here. So this one here already has the stamp on it. I use the stamp, the Tracy Evans stamp from the last retreat. So I just use that flower, and because she has beautiful fine images on her stamps too, so that's why I like to use the Wowzers white, because it does keep that beautiful fine shape to the stamp. So I have already put some embossing on here, so I don't know if you can sort of see, it's a little bit of a shine there, but what I'm going to do is show you the technique how I got to that stage. I mean, that just looks really stunning. I'll hold it up for you. I'm just waiting for the camera to catch up. Really does take a long time to catch up. So yeah, because I just want to make sure I've got it in camera. I'll turn it sideways. So you can see I've stamped the image on in the white embossing powder, and then I'm going to do the sprinkle and spritz technique. So one of the colours that I'm using is a shimmer, and one of the colours, it is a shimmer, but it just doesn't have that the grey, the silver shimmer of this one. But what I want you to see is the beautiful little watermarks that happen on. I'm trying to bring it up as close as I can. But I love, and if you let it dry naturally, it's better if you can let your lindys dry naturally. You just get much, I believe you get stronger colours, okay? I just sort of feel that there is definitely a difference between the two. But also you get this beautiful beading on the stamps that you have, and to me that just adds another little sparkle. Because with your lindys, I mean, this might be the colour that you use, this is the colour that I used on here, but if you, traditionally, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. It's so much I want to share with you. I can't get it all out in one go. Quite typically, you'll put your powder in the well here, and then you'll add some water, and then you stir it up to make a watercolour, so you get a liquid, and then you can just paint that on. Or you can do what we call a sprinkle and spritz, because you've got the little holes at the top. You can sprinkle that over, and then you just get the powder forming onto the item, and then you spray it with water. It makes a whole different look. What you don't realise is that, I mean, that's the product there when it's been mixed with water, but inside there are about 6 or 7 different colours in there to make up this particular colour, and that shows, because you can see there's pink on here. Well, I didn't put any pink on, that's come already in the lindys. So I will show you how that is done, but I'll be doing all of these kinds of different techniques. Something that I will also talk about too, the paper. The paper that you use really does make a difference. Now this paper I used was just a 250, it's a 250 watercolor paper, but to be honest with you, it's, you know, it's not that great. I mean, the more expensive you buy your watercolor paper, the better outcome you will get. But this one is okay. So I've done it on card, but I don't know if you can sort of see, there is a little bit of buckling on there, and I keep trying to flatten it out. Okay, there is a little bit of buckling. That's because you're putting water onto the substrate. Okay, what I often do, and I have done it on this one before I start, over here on this side here, I've actually put on a good coat of clear gesso. So that already has a coat, not for any other reason that I want it to minimize the curling, okay? Because if I don't, and I'll show you, if you don't, what happened with this one, it curled up like that, okay? But, you know, you have to sort of manipulate it out. But anyway, that's what I'm showing you there. But the thicker the paper you have, the better results you will get. And as I go through the night, I'll show you the different papers that I'm using. Right, so I always do a little bit of a shake up, because remember I said it has like 6 or 7, whatever number, colours in there. So then you just, and you don't need much, okay? She says. Okay, put the lid on so it doesn't go everywhere. So I'll just bring that up, because you probably... Hi Karen, thank you. Please don't tell me any scores. Thank you, darling. All right, so I'll just bring that up. I don't know if you can sort of see. There's just a little sprinkling of powder there, okay? Yeah, you can just see it there. So I will get my little spritzer, and oh, you don't want anything that's got too heavy a spritz. You want a nice soft sort of spritz. If it comes out too heavy, hold it up higher, okay? The softer the mix will be if you do that. And just watch, can you see it's starting to curl up? But it will, because it's got that, got to put my other colour on, didn't I? What other colour do I want? I will put this one on. So can you sort of see there already? You've got teals, you've got blues, and you've got a bit of pink, bit of yellow. So I'll put this on. I should have put this on before, but I was distracted by the computer. Put some more on. Get that. Now the yellow is flat, okay? I'll probably, more is more for me. I'm going to grab a little bit of brush. Now I don't do much in the way of I want to keep the flow as natural as possible. Can you see there's beading up? I hope you can sort of see there's beading up. Try and bring that up for you. I'll turn it to the side, just so you can sort of see what it looks like when you first have done it. So I'll just leave that there for a second for the camera to catch up. Okay, there's a bit of pinks, blues and yellows, and it really comes out quite light or quite different when you sort of see it. So you can see there's a bit of pinks there, and I don't like to push the paint around too much. So if anything, I just put fingernails and just let it do its own thing. I have a little tray here that I will put these sheets, just to let it do its thing. So I'm going to pick that up, put it on there, and I'm just going to let that dry. So you'll see that that is the end result of something like that. Now, it's like anything you do with painting. No two are the same. It will look a little bit different, but that's okay. What you can do, try not to play with it too much. Let it give it a chance to do its own thing. But because you always get pooling, so if you just get your little bit of paper towel, just let it soak up some of that extra. Don't want to take too much away, but just where it's pooling on the edge, I like to sort of take that a bit. Okay, I'm going to leave that go now and let it dry. I'll just put it over the side here, but you can sort of see where it acts as a resist, where the what was I going to say? Sorry, the resist on the embossing there. Okay, so that is really, really effective. So we'll let that dry. And I shall just put that on the floor over there. Okay. But that is the end result of what I did before. Okay, so it does become quite good. Now I could add more colours onto that if I wish. We might do that. How about we do that? So I've got him there, and I'm just going to sprinkle that on a little bit there, and I shall add a bit more spritz. Keep it up high. Okay, now if the powder does not activate, it will just sit on top. Okay, now you can leave it like that. Sometimes I'll just get a little bit of paintbrush, and if I see lots of bits that aren't activated, I will just tap them just to give them a helping hand. Okay, there's a lot in there, but that's all right. We'll let that do its own thing. So this one is going to take a little while to dry, and again I'll put that on my tray so that it can dry, but I'll just sort of show you. So now I've got some more beading on the embossing. Okay, it's looking pretty good there. Okay, a lot of pooling in the middle there, but that's okay. All right, so let's put that aside. I generally do have lots of bits hanging around and drying off everywhere around my desk. Okay, now that's just the sprinkle and spritz. Okay, and that is pretty cool technique. So I'm going to be doing these tags, and if we get time, I'll show you a couple of other things at the end. So again, this one is a 300 GSM paper. This is a really good quality paper. I don't know if you can actually sort of see it, but it actually comes with the glitter, or the very fine. When I say glitter, it's very, very fine. It's almost very stardusty, but you're probably not going to see it, but it is infused inside the paper. So it is beautiful, and it does, especially when I'm using lindys, the glitter still shines through. So if it's translucent paint, you should still see the glitter coming through. It's by Paul Rubens, and it's Japanese, and yeah, so it's for my special projects. I like to use it. So on this one here, this time we're going to be using texture paste. Now you can mix your powders into the texture paste. So if you've got white texture paste, obviously if I put that colour there, which is quite bright on the top there, but once I mix it in with the texture paste, it is going to, oh hello Jenny, how are you darling? Oh dear, okay, hope you're alright, hope you're feeling better too, Jenny. You take it easy, you've got a long haul to not be sick. Yeah, so if I put some of this into the texture paste, it's going to become a pale pink. So you will lose colour. It's like mixing white paint with this. But if you use a translucent texture paste like Tim Holtz grit paste, I often use that. And if I put that in the translucent one or a clear, the colour will stay the same. The hue will maintain its colour, okay? But often I tend to just do this because I like to sort of see what's coming through. So you can see here I've already applied this afternoon and let it dry. I will show you, I'll do a little bit on this card here so that we can do it in situ. But what I'll do is grab that now. This afternoon I used this product and it's meant to be crackle paste, but I'll tell you now there are no crackles in here. There is texture. To me it looks like the grit paste of Tim Holtz. I like it from that point of view, but I don't know if it's just the way I applied it. It's actually more like a mousse than, I'll show you. When I looked at it, I thought, oh gosh, that looks off. But I have used it before and got crackles out of it. But for some reason tonight, it only just did the, yeah, just didn't do it right. So what I'm going to do, I thought tonight I would use I've got some Jo Sonia texture paste here, so I thought I would use that instead. So I'm just, I don't know why I'm showing you this here. You all know how to do texture paste. Grab a, whoops. And it probably depends on how thick you do it too. I don't know, maybe did I do it too thick on that other one? Don't know. I've got this beautiful butterfly stencil. Just absolutely love this stencil. I think it's a paper rose. I've had it for a couple of years. There we go. Got to do my threes. Now I'm just going to zip away and wash this stencil. Sorry, just hold on there, girls. Okay. And I'm sure most of you know that you must wash your stencils after putting texture paste through them, because it will stay there. Now, of course, you know that'll need time to dry, so that is why I've done the other one previous. Okay, I haven't done it too thick, but if you've got a crackle paste, that would look absolutely scrummy, because you get all of these little nooks and crannies for the lindys to move into. And looks so effective. So again, I'll just put that aside. So when I'm doing Lindy's demonstrations on lives, it is a process thing. So it is a step-by-step thing, and so you are going to and fro between the two different ones. But you know, you can always rewind, rewatch the video later. So for this one, I've got a couple of images here that I will be putting on at the end. But just so you know, I've done some fussy cutting, so I've got 2 cards that I'll be doing. So one card will have these butterflies on it. I've got a set of 3, and the other one will have these. So these are my colours that I'm sort of working towards at the moment. So I've decided that I will use a bit of strength of colour in the background here, and so that is why I'm choosing this, because I'm kind of thinking, well, it could be for either of them, okay, so that blends in with either of them, as long as I bring in a bit of blue and green as well. Now what I will do with this one is actually brush this on, so I'll do the typical way of doing it. I also do have, I often take the lid off and use my little, you don't need much for these things, and just make sure you put it back on and make sure you close those off too. If that doesn't close, just get a brush, not a wet, nothing wet, but just, you know, blow it or something just to clean that off, because otherwise it won't close and then you end up with stuff everywhere. Okay, get my pipette. Okay, now let me find my trusty brush. I'll just use this little one. So you put the water in and then you just need to mix it in, okay, get all that powder. Sometimes you end up with bubbles and that, don't worry about that. This one has a nice silver bit of silver on as well. Now, can you see the size of the brush I'm using? Because I love to soak it up as much as possible. And I don't brush it on, I just guide it, okay? Put some over there, put a little bit down here. You'll really see the texture of the, it's quite bright there, doesn't it? So I'll just turn that to the side so you can see it. So can you sort of see, whilst they're not crackles, there is a lot of texture in the paste. So the paste is not a disaster, but it's just not the crackle that I would normally be looking for. But it's really is awesome. Now, if you ever find that, oh gosh, that's just too bright, because it will lighten up as it dries too, so don't be too worried. So I might push. I dip my brush into the water and I'm just going to push it out a little bit. That will just help to lighten the colours up a little bit. I'll keep some dark. And I don't worry sometimes if I get, actually now that I'm looking at it, you can sort of see a few little crackles. They're very, very fine, but it really is looking quite good. So I'm just going to put that there for the moment. Now, I think I had this all sorted out what I was going to do. I'm going to go, this is my mojito green. So, this is from Drink Me Silly. I don't know if Jen's got this one. Sorry, I didn't realise I picked that one up. I had a couple sitting in the wrong boxes, so I think that's what's happened. But this is from Drink Me Silly. That was another one that's probably, I don't know, last year sometime. It might have been early this year, I can't remember. Very subtle colours. Sometimes you look at them and you think, gosh, they all look the same. Yeah, they kind of do in the bottle, but it looks different when you actually work it. So always make sure you've got some clean water, which I just stuck that in the wrong one, but anyway, that's okay. And I also too, when I'm filling the well up, I always hold the pipette up high, because sometimes, you know, I don't know if I'm talking rubbish here, but sometimes, you know, with science and capillary action, you might suck up some of that colour up into the pipette. So do keep it away from the actual stuff, the mixture that you've got there. So we'll see what this colour looks like. And quite often they do dry a bit differently. So what do we call that? My Mojito Green. Oh, I bet Jen's had a few of those. I know I'd be having a few if I was on the boat. I've only been on a boat once and had lots and lots of mojitos. Again, I am just pushing this around very lightly. I'm not making any bold strokes. Now, if that's still wet, obviously you're going to have bleeding, that kind of thing, and that's okay. Don't know if my choice of colours were terribly good for this one, but I will put a different colour in as well. So there is a little bit of shift from the pink one into this supposedly green. It's probably going brown because it's still wet, but that's okay. These are all things that are sent to try us. I might go with, this one is Unstoppable Aqua. Now, like I was saying before, I try to, wherever possible, let it dry naturally. Even though I say that, when I'm doing lives, it's just not always possible, and I have to dry it off. It disappoints me a little bit because I have to do a lot of this. I'm removing some beautiful colour. But when I'm doing my own work, you know, in my own time, I just let it dry natural, just so I can get a much better look. The reason I want to dry now is because the pink is still wet. The Mojito Green, which really doesn't look Mojito Green at the moment, I think it's because it's mixing with the pink, and so green and the green and the pink are going to make brown. Okay, so that's why we're getting that. So I really need to dry that off before I do anything else. Well done. Thanks, Fiona, for putting that link up. Well done. So Fiona has put the link up in the comments there. So if you want to have a look at what Jen's got on offer, sorry, talking while this is on, you can have a look there. Something else I usually do too, I like to have this little guy. This is something I purchased from Kmart. Only cost about $5. It's something you put in your sink. That's how it's advertised. But it's a silicone mat, and it's lifted off the table so that the hot air goes straight through and it dries really, really quickly. Now on the screen, I'm looking at the screen, and this looks quite rosy and not real pinky, which it's nothing like what I'm doing here. So that's a bit of a disappointment, but it does look different here. So we've got a few people watching now. Welcome to those people who've just arrived and I haven't seen you. So it's not too bad. We probably could put a little bit of purpley colour. Maybe I'll put some purpley splatters or something on it. I'll bring it up to the camera in a moment. This is why it's really important to have a good quality paper, because sometimes these do take a lot of water, and so you know, if you're doing layer upon layer, you're going to be putting a lot of water onto a piece of paper, so which it's not real designed for taking too much. So the thicker you can get it, the better it is, the product that you're going to end up with. So I'll just bring that up. I'll turn it sideways just so you can sort of see. It's got a beautiful texture. I quite like this paste. They're very surface cracks is what I would call it. Very surfacey cracks. So it's fairly dry. So I'm going to, let me see, I want to put another green. I think I might go a little bit tealy, so I'm going to get out my tea and crumpets. Actually, that one will look nice. This one is blue and teal sort of together, and they kind of separate a little bit. So maybe this time I will spritz. And just be careful because I've got some. So I'm going to put it mostly where that brownie colour is. So you do have to test your colours. You can see that I put little tabs on the top. Excuse me. That helps. But each time you do it, it's like when you're mixing colours. Every time you do it, you get a different colour. So you don't always get the same. Remember, hold it up if you want a bit more of a spray. These are some little sprayers that Lindy gang have. But the problem is they're too little. And that was full. Now it's empty. So I'll get my trusty, my big one here. This one I like because it's got a nice soft mist spray. Okay. And again, just tapping, just so I can activate the powder. Sometimes I don't activate the powder, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. Let me just get this all tidied up. Hold that through. It's starting to warp a little bit now because it's got, this one has been gessoed on the back. But you can see now it's a little bit more interesting in the background, okay? I probably wouldn't put too much more Lindys on this because I think we've got enough colour in the background there. So, and plus, you know, I'm on a time limit here too, so I just don't want to spend too much time doing the one thing. So I'm going to let that sit for a little while, and I'll come back to that. All right. Okay, I've just gone and grabbed those two that we did before. So you can see down the bottom there, it's gone a bit brownish in there. That's okay. And this is where I just sop up some of the bits because, you know, to me, I feel like it's done its job now. You know, ordinarily I'd probably go away and have a cup of tea or something and go and watch Bold and the Beautiful or something like that, and then come back and see what it looks like. But I'll just dry it off a little bit. And I can feel how damp it is underneath. So what I'm going to do is grab my little my goodness, silicone. What would we do without silicone, I tell you? Again, you can see that that one hasn't been touched. But it does, I can uncurl it later once it's kind of dry. And sometimes, this is something that I should show you too while we're here. Let me just put that aside because I'm going to drop that. Just thought of something else that you can do as well. because it's wet, it's dry but it's wet, sometimes what I do is in my glass of water here, cup of water, I'm dipping my fingers in it and to get water on it. I'm going to come over here now, flick, and if it's not too late, what I can do, I'll let that sit for a little bit. Once it's dry, it's pretty, I might get rid of them, they're getting wet sitting there. So I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit, put my hand on it, and see if it's removed. Yeah, it's probably dried too much. So because that's what I was saying to you, it's pretty, and this one's still wet. Let me do it on this one. But you can get a nice mottled look. Okay, that's working a little bit there. I'll show you. You get these little mottled bits in the background. I'll show you a bit later on. It's a bit hard to sort of see here because once it goes past a certain stage, it's too hard because, like I say, it dries with a permanency. But that is another good technique that I often do to remove. It actually takes the lindys away. All right, so I was drying them, wasn't I? I probably won't do too much with these at the moment because they're still too wet, but I'll just dry it off a little bit and then show you what we've got. Okay, so they're the two that we did tonight. I'll just hold those up a little bit. So where's my other one that I had, my original one? I start off so good and I've got everything near me and then all of a sudden I lose everything. Who knows what I've done with it. Anyway, so that's the second one. And that's it there. Duh. Oh, for goodness sake. This is the original one I did this afternoon. Then I put the pink over the top of it. That's why I can't find it, because it's here. Oh dear. Okay, so can you sort of see that? Now I can see here that some of that silver has pooled a little bit there. Now whether that's because I did the flicking thing. So quite often what I will do too is if the powder hasn't activated and it dries and it sits on top, I just get a little brush and just brush over the top, and any loose skimmy bits will just come off, okay? But yeah, so I just do that usually. You don't have to do it, it's just something I do. All right, so that's those two, so we'll just put those aside for the moment. Okay. All right. So that other one's still drying, so I'll leave him be there for a little while. Sorry, I disappear. Now, I've got some other little bits here too. The two tags I'll try and the two tags with the texture paste I'm going to try and finish tonight. How are we going for time? Oh, I've only got half an hour left. So if I don't, I'll finish them off and put pictures up tomorrow. I mostly just wanted to show you a few different techniques that that you can do with the lindys. Now this is just cardstock, white cardstock. Now anyone who participates in Jen's retreats, she often puts a packet of BRT 350 cardstock in your kits. And it is fabulous for doing this. Okay, so if you want a nice white shiny, not shiny, but a nice cardstock that isn't watercolor paper, I suggest you grab some of the 350, which is the thickest that they have, 350 GSM cardstock. And excuse me, I did some stuff this afternoon, and I thought, yeah, this is good, because I like working on the cardstock, but it's not as malleable as the others, because it's just too you know, it's just too vulnerable, I suppose. It's not the right word, but anyway, that'll do. So I got a sheet of the paper, the A4 paper. I've cut it into 4. Okay, I've got a couple there extras. So another technique I want to show you here is using different ways of applying the lindys to your page. Now this one here is one I did this afternoon. So this is a beautiful teal colour. It might look a little bit bluey for you. Hello, Robin. Please don't tell me, Robin, please don't tell me any scores, darling. Thank you. I hope to watch it afterwards. So I've got the teal. I used the teal, this one here, I think it was. Yep, the cup of tea teal. So that's the colour that's there. And then I used, now where is it? No, I used those two, okay, on this one here. So that's a flat one, and this is a nice shiny one. I don't know if that is the right one. Actually, no, sorry, this one. Okay, so oh, that's flat. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Oh, I'm getting so confused. That's the problem when you buy too many. Here it is. When you buy, spill the tea teal. Thank you. I knew it was from the crumpets one. So it's got a beautiful, you can't really sort of see it here, but you've got the darkish blue, I suppose, undertones, and then the beautiful teal glitter. Okay, so, and then this one's flat, so it gives a nice little textured tone. Now what I'm going to show you on this card is how I did the blue underneath on them. Okay, and then I'll show you how I do the green on that. So to get it to this stage, let me move that out of the way. I am just going to use, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. Whoops, oh, I'm dropping things all over the place. Okay, so I'm using my, I've got my old, thank you darling, I've got my, what is it, gel plate. This one's, goodness me, this is probably the first one I ever bought. It's all melted and misformed, but it's my favourite, and I still use it. It's got all cragginess in it, but that's okay. I'm going to use that as my palette. So this time I'm not doing it in the well. We're going to put a little bit here, but always shake it. Okay, just need a little bit. And I will get that clean. I'll use this one. Just spray a bit of water on it. So we're just spraying the water on to activate it. You don't need much water. I will swish her around a little bit because I just want it to have a little bit of interest. Now you could just go onto that, but you get this big blob. So I'm going to show you two different ways of, these two were done in different ways, so I'll show you how. Just a little bit of Perspex, clear Perspex, and just lightly tap it onto there, and then just very lightly tap it onto your page. Okay, little or as much as you like. I'm going to put 2 colours on, so I don't want to put too much on. Alright, that will do there. So I'll wipe that off. If you don't, you could use, for this one here, I've written it on the back. This one was done with the Perspex. This one was done using a snap lock bag. Okay, so you don't need the fancy equipment. If you don't have any of the acetate sheets, just tap it onto your bag. Okay, just manipulate it around. They'll look different, and look, you've got from your stamps, left over from your stamp, you can do that as well. Or I've been known to do this before today too. The stamp, just go in and put that, wipe it off. So you can use this Perspex from that, just wipe it off. Okay, you don't have to go out and buy special equipment. Everybody's got Ziploc bags. So that's those. It's going to just dry off a little bit there. A lot of cleaning up when you're doing this. I'll wipe that off there. Something I should say too, if at the end of the night, my playing session, I've got 6 wells full of lindys, you can let it just dry out. Okay, it will just dry out in the palette. Then when you want to go and use it again, just spritz a bit of water on it and you can reactivate it. Okay, so you don't have to waste any of this. But quite often what I do is I might have a few colours on here. I'll grab a bit of cardstock and I'll just swish it all over. And I've just created then an A4 cardstock. I've created the background for a set of ATCs. So, you know, I never waste any of this. It usually is either let it dry in there and use it again, or I put it onto, you know, like that done on A4. There's an ATC background's already done for me. So never throw it away. It's really versatile, but it does reactivate as from the powder there. Now for this one here, I used, just for this exercise, I just grabbed this stencil, just any old stencil, and again I've cleaned off my, is that there? I've cleaned off my palette, just making sure it's in, oh, gotta be careful, didn't close that properly, oh. So I'll have to play with that later. Okay, so I've put some down there, probably a bit more than what I wanted, but that's okay. Okay, spritz and spritz. So I love this colour. It's a limey green, but it's got limey yellow in it as well. So it's very citrusy. Just sort of dabbing it around just to make sure it's looking okay. Now with this one, I probably could have used a bigger stencil. It would have been easier to manipulate around, but I'm just going to do it on this one first. So grab the stencil, tap it in. Okay, give it a bit of a tap so it's not clogging up too much. Then I just because you just want the hint of the stencil going through there. So obviously you can use whatever stencil you like to, so I'll just bring that up. It's a very abstract circles on it, and that might be just what you want for your background. This would make a beautiful card front. Okay, so you know, you stick a beautiful flower on, butterfly on that, and you've made the card front for your card. So that is awesome. I'm just going to let that dry off a little bit. What I will do before I do that though is, I just told you before, don't waste anything. So I'm going to just add. Now these guys, they're still a little bit wet, but it's okay to do this because even if it does blend in with the blue, it's a lime green, so there is some blue in the lime green anyway. Not sure if you can see that. I'll put that, bring that down. Okay. No need to waste any of this. Obviously it's better, it's preferable to let these things dry because you can sort of see the difference. Just trying to show you there. Okay. I really love these colours. Okay, so they look really effective. Okay, so put them aside just to let them dry off a bit. Oh, they look lovely. Oh dear. Oh, running out of room. Back to this guy. I'm going to have to dry him off for a little bit, girls. I'm sorry. Because he's just not drying off. Where's the... So what I think I might do is I might change over to my normal hairdryer. It's noisier. I don't like to use it on lives, but it will dry a little bit faster. So if you don't mind, just talk amongst yourselves, girls. Go and make a cup of tea or something. Okay, it's pretty dry. Would prefer a bit drier, but anyway, that's okay. So this is where, well, this is where I might, okay, so I'm going to grab this guy and instead of getting all fancy with inks or anything like that, I'm going to use that teal to make my splatters. I do get carried. Now your splatters will fall into it. It's not like an ink. I might put a little bit of black ink or something on later, but that is that's just the way that looks. What I will do here is I might just grab this colour here. I'm going to go back to this pink because I want to show you what I was talking about before. I don't normally apply, but I just want to get a bit of colour onto here so I can show you that the flicking thing. I'll just sort of start drawing it off a little bit. Okay, dip my fingers in there. You don't have to do this, but now I don't know if you can. Right, can you see? I'll wait for the camera to catch up. It's mottled. You can sort of see it on the camera where it's starting to mottle, but then it just spreads out a little bit. So can you sort of see that? That is how you can remove some of the paint. We'll call it paint. Now if I do this, I'll just do it on one side. Okay, because I'm going to take off a lot. So then you can get this variegated sort of looking thing going on as well. So just play, girls. You know, that's all I can suggest. And anything I've learnt, I've watched other people working, and I've just played, and it's so enjoyable to play. Now what I'm going to use on this one, because we've got these beautiful colours on here, I've got somewhere here, let me have a look. Somewhere here I have got phthalo blue. I'm probably only going to get time to do one tonight, but I will do the other one and put it up as well. It'll be the similar sort of thing. So I've got, this is the Montmartre inks, which I believe Jen did have. She had them for the retreat, so I don't know if she still has them or not. The pack that I bought the large, 12 or 18. I can't remember how many it was. But it has phthalo blue and teal, this is, sorry. This is going to be a really strong colour. So it's just a little ink. Oh dear. Now, I'll show you this. Can you see how the splatters that I did before have blended into the background? But I want a little bit more colour than that. So can you sort of see how the blue that I did before, the teal I did before, has blended in a bit. Okay, so this is where, can I find my, here we go. I like to do my splatters with a fan brush. Might grab a little bit of water on there. I do tend to overstate the splatters. That's a me thing. Okay, so that is that there. Something else I haven't looked at is I've got, just to show you, I've pulled out all sorts of bits and pieces that I've got in my stash. Just trying to think what I might use this one here. Okay. So this is just white cardstock that I'm using here. I will get rid of that off there. Now I might go with this bluey teal colour. pipette, pipette, pipette. Alright. Mix that in. And so then what I will do is it's just a die cut. Okay. Just add a little bit of colour. So, I mean, it's supposed to be the leaves, but anyway, they're bluey leaves. Got a few flowers there that I will make that green just to... So this is a thinner, this is probably only 250 cardstock, so it doesn't like the water as much because it's been cut up, of course. Oops. Now, I'm going to grab whoops. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a mix here, so I've now made that a little bit of a purpley colour by putting some of that blue and the bits together. So I'm just colouring these flowers. So you can do this with your own die cuts. I've got all sorts of die cuts here. This one would be nice too. I mean, you might want to leave them, and you don't have to colour all of it. You might just colour some of it. So that would look quite effective, you know, on a background somewhere, okay? So I might just put another coat. I'm not covering all of it. Oh, hello, Susan. Hello, thank you, darling. I'll watch her later. So I hope I haven't lost you, any of you. Alright, so I might just, probably should try and lift that off first. Ooh. So I'm just doing this, and then I think I might start putting things together. So I may just get only one completed tonight because we don't have an awful lot of time. I want to try and keep them short, so I don't want to take up too much of your night. Alright, so that one's dried and it's quite thick again now. And you know, that one's, so I've just done a little bit on that one, just sort of show you there, so you can sort of see. Alright, okay. Quite often I just leave these things white, but you know, just do whatever you feel your project needs. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just put some things together. Where is it? Here it is here. Now let me find my flowers. Did a bit of fussy cutting. My idea was to put 3 on each. Oh, the one's got a bit wet. 3 on each one. Alright, so they should be all slightly different sizes, so they're just slightly different sizes. Something else I want to show you, another product. Now, where is it? This is another set. I don't know if, look, I did look the other day and now I can't remember what I saw. These are the painters sets, the Monet, the Van Gogh and the Klimt. Beautiful sets. So they're always nice ones too. They're flat. This product here is called Fairy Fluff. Okay. Now you know how I was saying on a lot of these things that there's the silver, the silver glitter. I don't even know if I want to call it glitter because it's very, very fine. It's like a dust, which is, I suppose is why they call it Fairy Fluff. Well, this bottle here is just full of that. There's no colours, no anything. It's just this Fairy Fluff, okay? So what you can do is, I often, particularly if I'm using the glittery, the shimmery, oh God, what am I doing? Sorry girls, I've lost my train of thought. The shimmery, honestly, the shimmery magicals, sorry, just lost all my words. Just put a little bit of water in that to make it all shiny, and it's just makes it look a bit iridescent-y. Okay, so it's just doing that. Mix that in. So there is, like I say, there is no colour in here at all except for the silvery. Whoops, that's gone a bit pink because I had that pink brush. Oh well, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is put a little dash. Now, you know, the paper won't take it too much, but when it dries, it will have the shimmer, just the shimmer. You can put it all over or just on a bit, okay? It's really not worth me showing you because you won't be able to see it here, but honestly, when it dries, the shimmer will be sitting on the surface. Okay, so I'll just, I won't do it all over, just little bits, because it's this paper, this is, you know, done at Officeworks, so it does act as a bit of a resist, but it does keep some of it on. So that will just add a little bit of shimmer to my focal image. And I'll just, I honestly, I don't know if it's worth me trying to show you. You love your Fairy Fluff? Yes, Wendy, it's beautiful, isn't it? It just adds that little bit of shimmer to the products. Look, I might even just put a little bit on here, even though this is a shimmer. I don't know if there's anything else I can put it on. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that that is another product that you can give a whole new dimension to things. You put it into your flats and then you end up with a shimmer shimmer product. Okay, so we've got this. Just as a finishing off, I'm going to add a little bit of stamping onto this. I'll just find my stamp pad. Not going to be doing too much more. Like I say, I'll probably just get, they are pretty butterflies, darling. Yes, I bought them, and yeah, they're lovely, beautiful colours. So I'm just going to, this is a French script. It's not going to be seen very much, but it is just to add a little bit of interest into the background there. You won't be able to read it or see it. Read it, I mean. It's French script. Okay, so that'll add a little bit of interest to that. Put that aside. I'm not really going to add much more to that. I'm just going to start collating all of this. So let's hope our butterflies dry off. Just try and Actually, I'll just put them on, and I can always add some on later, because otherwise I'm just not going to get this done. Now, I am going to grab, what have we got there? Oops. Might grab this one and see how we go. I'm going for London blue. The reason I'm going, because there is a bit of blue in there, obviously, but I just want to highlight the edges of the butterflies a little bit. So these are just the little mini, this is the Diane Reevely's, you know, the London blue, her paint colour. So it's just to add a little layer to it. That's that one. And hopefully it'll just have, you could do it with a black or a grey if you're that way inclined. I normally do, but I just wanted to bring out a little bit of colour in this one today. And I'm not doing it all over. I'll add some more shimmer onto that later. Alright, while I'm at it, and I like to use these ones because they're permanent. You could use your Tim Holst if you're that way inclined. I tend to go for permanent products. That's why I use the permanent ink pads. There we go. That'll blend in nicely. And so my idea was to start off small, sort of having the flower, the butterflies over, am I in? Something a bit like that. They will be over, I don't know, something like that, but we'll work it with our pieces. So this one here, I may do it that way. Quite often what I do with these as well is stamp. I just like that little bit of interest. So I usually stamp over my, quite often I'll stamp over my die cuts as well. So I'm going to put, I might put that one underneath, although that's right where the pink is, isn't it? I don't know about you, but does anyone else have lots of bits and pieces sitting around? I've got half a dozen here. So what I might do with this one is grab that stamp. This is another good thing about lives. I mean, I know this is my first live with Hillbillys, but I mean, this is the way I like to work with my lives, that sometimes you're thinking on the hop, you know, and it just makes it more interesting. It makes it more real. You get to sort of see how my creative brain works sometimes. And yeah, so sometimes it's not quite as cut and dried as we think. So I'm going to cut that one smack up the middle there. And so we might, I don't know, wonder if I might just chop one of them in half as well. And let's see how we go. So, am I in camera here? Sorry, I've sometimes forget about that. Get a little bit carried away. All right. Yep. Okay. See, this is the worst part. This is where you sit and play for forever and totally overthink it all. Now, I'll tuck little bits and pieces in there as well. Just want to make sure that that circle is not covered. I don't know, probably using too much of this now. So I might just put a little bit there, put those two there. So I'm just going to glue those down quickly. And find the glue. Have I lost you yet? You're still here? Oh dear, now my glue won't work. Sorry, just bumped the camera then. Just gluing bits and pieces of it. Should have checked my glue beforehand. Sorry guys, it's just... I have about 3 on the go at any one time because they all seem to run out at the same time. Come on. How hard can it be, honestly? Oh, now it comes out. Of course, I'm using the most expensive glue on the planet. And I'm only just... Oh, God, where did I put that? It's on this side. Okay. Haven't glued it all the way down, just some of the spots, just so that it catches. I tend not to glue too many things, to glue it down too much in case I want to tuck some bits in here and there. And I think I have this little one here. It's just to create a bit of white in between the images and the background. That's my main purpose for doing it, so you can just sort of see a little bit of white tucking in. I've got these beautiful little love hearts that I'll tuck in behind there somewhere as well. And just to start off with, I like it to go off the edge a little bit too, so I'll put that one going there. and I just have got glue in the middle. I can always put glue down there later, but I might want to tuck something in, so I just make sure it's just fastened on. Let me something like that. I'm making sure that they interleave over, you know, there's something touching each other. Is that okay there, like that? Yeah, put that down there like that. And this one. Just in case I want to put something, some fancy ribbon in there. That's why I keep leaving that the hole open. Okay, and I like the idea of it flipping, and I can always scrunch that up too as well later on. I can do bits and pieces, so I've got these little fellas. I'll do them in clumps of 3 in different spots. They're fiddly thing. They look pretty, but gosh, they're fiddly. Might just chop them off a bit. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck them in under there somewhere. Again, they're just sitting there. I can always put some more glue on after. It's just to make sure they don't fly away. Okay, and this is where you can go really, really, really silly. Just another 3. I'll put this beyond. I'll put on, I think. Fingers are gone all crazy, and I'll just pop them underneath there. Okay, there's not enough there for me, so what I did get out, I got out some of this stuff. Good on you, Wendy. I knew you'd hang around, darling. So just a little bit of cheesecloth. Just chop it up into little bits. And then I'll just tuck this in behind too now. Just tuck that in behind there. Just hold on to that for a little bit so it's got time to cheesecloth's always great for just filling in a few little holes. Just adds a little bit of interest, and you can pull it out. Okay, a bit more. Yeah, got a couple of bits here. you'll need some of your heavy duty glue on there. And I might just put another little bit just up in here. Oh, come on. Tuck, 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 tuck. All right, now I do have spread your wings, and I might just put that there. Hopefully you can see that there. Spread your wings. All right. So this is one tag. I can finish off the others, and I'll put them up. Might do a little bit more fiddling around with it tomorrow, just doing little bits of scribbly bits. Sometimes I like to outline. I do want to put a bit more of that shimmer stuff on, so I'll put that on tonight before I leave, and that way that can be nice and dry for tomorrow. Now I don't know if you can sort of see that. It's got a little bit of white there. Hopefully, I just wanted to a bit hard to see. Yeah. I'm just going to lift the camera up a little bit, just so we get a bit of wider screen. So just, sorry, I'm going to move the camera there. But it was just a little, just to give you a little bit of a taste of what Lindy's is like. There's a million things you can do. I've done so much with Lindy's. I just love it. Yeah. But like I say, I have done other videos. The video I did last month, I'll put a link up so you can have a look at that. That's me doing other ATCs. I don't just do ATCs, but that's something that's just nice and quick that you can do. Do I buy what from Temu, darling? The cheesecloth. The cheesecloth that I use, this stuff, if you're talking about that, I just buy it from the cheap shop choice in your cooking section. It's cheesecloth for making puddings, Christmas puddings and that. So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so a couple of dollars and you get heaps of it. Okay, so no, that's local. Yeah, the cheesecloth, yeah. Just go to your, look, you might even find it in Woolies, but if you go to your cheap shop, your choice, or whatever you have down where you live, any of those bargain shops, and go into the cooking section, because it's cheesecloth that you use to make your Christmas puddings. And that's usually where I buy it from. And you get a huge amount, and yeah. Okay. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, so I'll take some nice photos tomorrow. I'll do a little bit more finessing with it, but yeah, I pretty much wanted to show you those techniques. So anything that I've done tonight, I will finish it off and show you some pictures and that kind of thing. And yeah, So thank you. I want to thank you for joining me for my first live with Hillbillys, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Remember, the third Wednesday of every month I'll be here at 7:30. And so if there's something that you in particular want me to do, if there's a product that you particularly want me to do, I'm more than happy to do that. But I'll come up with some ideas for next time. So thank you Jen for inviting me. I'm loving every minute of it. Thank you Fee for helping out, and thanks ladies for giving me your time. See you later. Thank you. Bye bye.